on the Nord at People's Church and kind of what we're running and just kind of how to have an idea of how to use pads, how to have it be more full and that kind of stuff. So we're always going to be running pianos through channels 1 and 2 and then our pads 3 and 4. And so on G over here, let's see if I can scoot this up. You can't really see, but like on the little screen right here, on the G kind of area, that is kind of where I have the patches. So I have them. I went away from doing like fast songs, slow songs. So I just kind of have a variety for you to kind of add your own taste and kind of your own touch to the set that you're going to be playing on. So, but I have 4 programs or 4 patches. So I have piano strings, I have an unnamed one, which I'll name here shortly. I have drone underscore, and then I have big pad. So a little bit about kind of the Nord is it's divided into like different systems. So for example, right here we have our pianos. So everything kind of in this little box right here. I'm not sure if you can see that very well. Let's see. I'll probably screw it up like this. So everything kind of like in this here is like kind of like the piano engine. Then everything over here within this gray box is the synth engine. Then this is kind of like all the layering, all the effects, all that kind of engine as well. And over here we have an organ engine. So if you want to mess around with that, I don't really have anything in these. But basically, so if we start with piano 1, here we have our faders. And so I have 2 pianos layered on each other. And across everything, I have 2 pianos layered as well. So for piano strings, kind of what I got going on here is kind of like, let's see. Let me have a chord here. So kind of what I got going on here is this is kind of the sound of it. You kind of hear like the little shimmer in the back. So you can play with these 3 knobs. So here's without it. Here's the first one. Here's the next one. Next one. But if you kind of combine them, add one or the other one a little bit more. So that's kind of that function for that one. And then we go to 2. It's kind of more of a generic one where I have an upright and just a piano layered on each other with a simple little pad in the back. So this is kind of for more open songs, faster songs potentially. That's no pad. This pad. This is the pad by itself. That's what I got for the second one. And then the third one for drone underscoring. So this is going to be really important. So for the last 2 presets, presets 3 and 4, which would be drone underscore and big pad. I have put a drone pad on here, but it could be a little tricky if you're not familiar with, let me see, zoom out a little bit. It could be a little unfamiliar if you don't know kind of the layout of it is. So that's why I kind of want to explain this. So over here we have something called layer scene. Number 2. See if I can zoom in a little bit as well for you to see. So the screen's right here. It's directly under here. It's under live mode number pad. It's or numpad. It's called layer scene 2. So what you're gonna do, kind of think of it like a page. So this is page number 1, and if you click this, it flips the page and it has a whole new set of sounds that are stacked on top of each other. So what we're going to do is you're going to go on here on drone underscore, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put layer scene 2, and once that button is on up here, some of these things are going to turn off over here. And so I'm going to zoom out here, and so I'm not sure how well you can see, but there's like a green light right here, and that green light indicates that anything past that green light is what the drone pad is going to be when you're on layer scene number 2. So when you're on the second page. So for example, say we want, we're in the key of C. I'm literally, because of the green light, I'm going to hit key of C. And it's going to fade into pad. And so I have it probably like about 60%. You can turn it up more. and that's just looping. And the most important part right here that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to switch to scene number 1. So basically turn back to the first page by clicking it, and once that button turns off, you're back to the first page, first layer, and then that's where you can play. And then here you can still turn up the pad a little bit and stuff like that, but basically for underscoring, this is kind of what I made. Just very open when the pastor, the MC, is doing the moment, because without the pad it sounds really empty like this. But once we put the drum pad in, and this is the first fader right here. So yeah, that's kind of that one. And the way to turn it off, you need to go to layer scene number 2, back to the second page, and just click any of these keys that are before the green light right over here, and that's just going to fade it out. And then say, okay, next key is key G. Just click it, phase the next key in. Make sure to always switch over layer scene number 1, and now we're in key G. So that's kind of how our pads work, our drum pad works. And then so now we're going to scene, or the patch, big pad. And this is probably my favorite one that I made. So this one, you're gonna definitely need to use the controls a lot more of the synth. So basically I made a patch that simply goes to just the first fader of the synth patch right over here. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit as well. So you have 3 faders right here. 1, 2, 3, just kind of the left one. This one, you might not want to turn it up all the way. I'd say probably keep it about 50% to 70, depending on what our sound guy says, if it starts clipping or not. But basically, this is kind of how it sounds. I have 2 pianos layered on top of each other. And so, yeah, this is kind of how this sounds. Possibly fix it in-house, but in my system it's clipping a little bit here. But basically that's that. And I also added the drum pad to this, so what you can do is hit layer scene number 2. Remember, it's kind of like turning the page over, and then say we're in the key of A. You click A right here. And then important, remember, you always got to switch back to layer scene to page number 1, and then now in this key. And the drum pad in this one is patched to third fader. And kind of one of the ways to see it is it doesn't have all of the like kind of little tallies leading up to what signal it is. It only has one where the level is, and so that's just kind of a good way to not get confused. You can turn up the pad. So like in big moments, say we're like in a bridge. Fade up more, but for simpler moments you can have it a little bit lower. And yeah, and remember, the way to turn off the pad is simply by clicking any of these keys before the green light over here. Phase in. So yeah, that's kind of a breakdown of what we have going on over here. And then we have some other controls over here, like our reverb. That's probably one of the things I'd recommend for you to use the most. For example, if you're playing like upper beat song, for example, like the Joy of the Lord, you might not want to be having like, to just go here, you might not be wanting to have it cranked, because then it just gets lost so much. So you can feel free to play with this. Dry means not as much reverb, wet means more reverb or whatever. And they have a few. I think they have 6 reverbs here. I like Cathedral, and typically I have Cathedral Dark, and yeah, that's kind of what I'm running. But you can experiment with whatever you want. And then if you want to get kind of a little bit more bougie or whatever, with the big pad, kind of with this modulation wheel over here, I think is what it's called. One of the things you can do is it gets more gritty if you turn it up more. So here, let me lower my pianos, just give you pure pad. So for big moments, say we're in the key of C or A, if you turn it up more, it gets pretty gritty, like almost distortion-y. So once again, you're gonna kind of have to be musical in the sense of being like, this song needs a little bit more, like, it needs to cut through a little bit more, or whatever. That's kind of when you use that. But yeah, that's kind of the breakdown of what we have. So once again, to kind of go over everything in a little summary, kind of one of the most important things that I've noticed is our sound sometimes is a little bit empty, and that's why I added a drone pad. So remember, when you click either 3 or 4 in the category of G, which would be G13 and G14 in this case, you just flip to layer C, which is page number 2 basically, and just click whichever key you're in, and then switch over by clicking the same button, and then you can play any of these keys. And then to turn it off, you click layer scene 2 again, going back to second page, and then just kill it, and then say we're in the key of, I don't know, C sharp or whatever. And then switch over, and you're back. So yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know, and I can try and help in any way. But as well, if you want to get just kind of experiment more on the Nord or whatever, I left 4, 5, 6, and 7 open, so you can feel free to add some patches on there, kind of search up tutorials on YouTube as to what to add. But yeah, feel free to have fun, feel free to explore this. Try and look at this video before you're on set, just so you're a little familiar going into it, and you just kind of know what you're getting yourself into. Because kind of one of the things that I've realized is that, like, obviously, like, this piano is an instrument, but this thing as well is an instrument, and so it would be in vain if we just kind of stick to this octave when we have, like, all these octaves over here. So in that case, it's like it'd be in vain if we just use a piano when we have just an amazing synth engine, amazing organ engine, layer effects engine. We have just, yeah. So feel free to dive in, try and learn as much as you can in this. So yeah, see you guys.